We'll give a little bit of a lead in here for ads to play for any of those waiting. So that way, kind of wait for this little eyeball in the upper corner of my screen to show more than 0. And with that, otherwise, I'll say it's Thursday night. It's 7 p.m. You found your way to my channel, Straight SixFan, for the gold standard automotive YouTube chat. Self-proclaimed, of course, the CarrGuy SixFan show. And, well, since I'm only half that equation, this guy over this direction is...
I am Jason. I am the car guy of the CarrGuy SixFan show, otherwise known as Old Car Guy, here on YouTube. Before we get to introducing our guests, we do want to take a moment to go into the chat and recognize some of the people that are there. There's 20 of you there so far, so it's going to take a minute or two to get through it. But we've got Grimm's Auto Service, Coastal Auto Reaction, King Eric the Great. We've got Monster Rust, Dan's Garage NC. We're going to scroll up a little bit, and I think I saw somewhere in there Left for Dead Garage. We've also got Real World Garage. A lot of garages tonight. Mechanics is in there. We've also got Trunk Back Jim. Welcome, Trunk Back Jim. New face, I believe, for the channel. And Uncle Bobo, I believe, is in there as well. We got all kinds of people scrolling through, and welcome to this Thursday evening. And Grant, why don't we talk about our guest here for a minute?
Yeah, well, we're excited to have with us kind of I always like to talk about the YouTube journey almost like the high school graduating class. You know, you always say class of 2003. So sometimes, you know, when you're coming up in the ranks, you kind of just, you gravitate towards other channels. And Sean's one of the ones that I feel like he and I have been kind of coming up through the ranks for quite some time together. I'll let him introduce himself, but Sean, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your channel?
All right, so I go by NovaTAZZ. I restore classic cars here and there. I also lately been doing a lot of live streams. I've been at this for, 2013, 2014. Just kind of doing my own thing at my own pace. And, yeah, been at this for quite a while.
And Sean, I noticed that your beard is coming in very nicely. Thank you for the tribute shave after I cleaned mine off there back in November, and it's coming in pretty good.
I couldn't let you sit there and suffer by yourself.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Well, real quick, before we get into what tonight's supposed to be about, which is going to be a channel review, wanted to remind you guys that here in Season 5, both Jason and I have prizes that we will be awarding, I guess you'll say, at the end of the season. And different prizes on the different for whoever's hosting. So whenever I'm hosting, what's at stake is not just one sheet, but 2 boxes full of this stuff. A 36 square foot kit of 80 millimeter or 80 mil thick sound deadening from Kilmat and an installation roller. So every $1 that's given in a super chat gets you 1 entry towards that prize. Again, there's 2 boxes of that. 36 square foot gets you it gets you a long ways. So with that, tonight's going to be, we're hoping to have a little bit of fun with this. Last season, Season 4, we did channel reviews, and it seemed to be a big success. And so when Jason and I were talking in the strategic planning off season, like we always do, we always talk once about, hey, what would we do differently for Season 5? We came up with the idea, when we do channel reviews, sometimes we felt like it'd be nice to have the actual person representing the channel on board so we could more dialogue with them instead of send stuff through the chat. So knowing that Sean's been a long-time friend of ours, we knew he could handle it if we maybe went a little too far here or there. So he's kind of a guinea pig. So Sean, again, we wanted to say thanks for...
Bring on the roasting.
So I guess we'll start with bringing up NovaTAZZ's channel. Do you have that there, Grant? Or am I supposed to be doing that? See, we try to plan this right down to the script, and every week we manage to pull one out of our butt. So,
well, you know what? So yeah, so Jason, I always forget the browser I use it always wants to not allow a screen share, so I have to mess through that for a second. So if you can bring it up, I'll add it.
Yep, no worries. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to figure out how to screen share on this program here, because it's very, very simple. And so we're going to pull that up.
The simpler it is, the more it eludes you.
Sometimes. So I guess the very first thing that we want to talk about when we look at someone's channel, or when you come upon somebody's channel, is the attention grabber. What's grabbing the attention? The banner is very simple here. You can see that there's a Trans Am. If you know anything about cars, looks like he's at the track, and it clearly has his name in the banner, and specifically talking about his live streams on Sunday evenings at 9. So there's a little bit of a shout out. If you guys aren't doing anything on Sunday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern, check out Sean's live stream.
I have to give credit to that banner to LSX Hunter.
Well, there you go. Is LSX Hunter in the chat tonight?
I don't see him.
No? Okay.
I don't see him. But he's the one that came up. He's the one that made that banner for me.
So the whole idea behind banners is branding yourself. So that's one thing that we try and do as YouTubers, is we want to make sure that people know exactly what to look for. They're looking for something common, something they recognize, and the NovaTAZZ name, stands out there really nice with the Trans Am kind of in the background. So,
and I've had that logo forever too. So.
Yeah, and that's part of it. You know, you guys have seen my logo change over the last 3 years. The most recent one just in the last couple of days. So, branding yourself is something big. When you're a smaller channel, it's easy to rebrand yourself because, well, you just don't have that big of an audience. When you're bigger, it's a different story. But the rules still apply. So I think when we look at this first homepage, we look at the fact that everything from this point right here seems to look pretty decent. Grant?
Unmute myself here for a second. Yeah. I think the graphic is strong. I really like it's kind of a drag strip look, and so that kind of already can lead your mind into making some assumptions about the channel before you even get into the content. Personally, for myself, I always like to go to the About page. So, Jason, if you don't mind going there, that I think it's always important to, since YouTube likes regularity, I don't know if that's a word. And if you know what that schedule is, go ahead and put it in the About page. And then I'll also say, the About page is one I probably revisit every year because, I think when I started, I wrote a novel, and then I realized nobody's going to read through.
Yeah, I think that one's from back in 2015 or 16 or something that I did that one. That one's quite old. Yeah,
so I think, and I think in your case, Sean, since I know you've had the difficulty of the access to your project cars, where you haven't been able to put out as much project car content as you once did. I mean, it looked like, I kind of like looking at your videos. It looks like it's been almost a year since there was really like a solid.
Since COVID. It's been since the winter before COVID.
Gotcha. So I think maybe rewording when somebody comes to your channel and they read that, okay, great, and then they have to scroll and scroll and scroll until they find an actual car video. Maybe it's worth in the About page at this point in time just kind of leaning a little more on the live stream part and talking about how that's what your channel's about right now, and then that can always change.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally just waiting on. At this point, I'm waiting on Holly, and then hopefully we'll have car content, project car content, coming soon too as well. But yeah, no, I understand your point. Yeah, it's you want the people coming in to be able to know what to expect at the moment.
Yeah, exactly, and that's part of this About page is simply finding out exactly what your channel is, in quotes, about, and sometimes it takes literally a couple of minutes just to pop something in there that says, welcome to the NovaTAZZ channel. This is what we do here. Mainly my focus right now is live streams on Sunday evenings at 9 Eastern time. We have guests. We do this. This is what we talk about. And being able to have that there in just a couple of sentences would really tell somebody really quick. Obviously, if they can't read your banner, but the About page is where you're going to kind of update that information about your channels as well.
I'd actually like to ask in chat how many people, when you're visiting a channel, do you actually do visit the About page, or do you just scroll through people's latest videos to see what they're about? And that is a good question. Because, I mean, Grant, you do check out the About page, but I mean, like me, when I'm scrolling through YouTube channels, I don't. I look at what videos they're producing, what playlists they have out, and see if any of their projects that they're working on or interest me, or there's obviously something that brought me to the channel, whether it be a shout out from another YouTuber, and then I go look and see if I like any of their videos. If I like a few of them, I'll subscribe and see if they produce anything else that I like. If I like a lot of them, well, obviously you have a reason why you're subscribing.
Yeah, it looks like that's been a good conversation starter over there in the chat. There's a lot of people saying every time I do, never read the about page. I do both. Almost never check out. Mostly videos. So
yeah, it depends on their type of personality. I would say whether you check out the about page or just check out their videos.
Well, one of the reasons why I check the about page isn't so much to find out what they're about, because a majority of the time you can generally get that concept right from their main page, their homepage. But one thing that I want to point out here too, guys, is if somebody has done their about page properly, in this case with the links like Sean has, he's listed his Facebook, his NovaTAZZ store, his Instagram, his Twitter, so somebody can get instant access. If they want to follow you on YouTube, they can also follow you on other social medias. They can get a quick access to merchandise if they want. And this is the place where you're going to list that. And I'm going to go back to the homepage, because when you list those links there, they're going to show up in the bottom right-hand corner of your banner, again, as easy access to just kind of click on either of those icons and get you exactly where you want to be.
Actually, I need to update that, because I have my blue card, which is, there's like Linktree and some other things. Well, I have a business card that's electronic that is also linked to one of those, kind of like a link page, but it's Hello Blue, that has all of my links in one place.
Yep.
Which is something good. And I need to update them. I have it updated on my Facebook and my Instagram, but I forgot to put it here. So thank you for pointing that out, because I completely forgot about the About Me page, which is why it hasn't been updated.
Well, and with the social media links, that reminds me of something else that I always say, and I'm going to kind of like try to draw some parallels here, but it's like I'm a less is more guy. I don't like managing 4 different social media accounts, and you probably can see how much I post on TikTok as a reflection of how little I care about that one. But the thing is like, for everyone that there's like me who only prefers one platform or the other, that person exists out there. So I need to have all 4, so I reach all 4.
I have
very similarly with the about page is same thing. In the chat, it looked like it's not 100%. We're not hitting 100% there. It's maybe only 50%. It's maybe only 20%. It's maybe only 12%. If you're not caring about your about page, you're leaving money on the table, I guess is what I was getting at there earlier.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go back to the main page, and sometimes when I'm looking through different channels and checking things out, I kind of have a 1, 2, 3. So the 1 obviously is the main page. 2 is the about, and I'll go and check their the other social medias. But the second thing that I want to do is I want to check their videos and see how often they're posting, because sometimes you find something in a random search that gives you really good content, really good information, and then you go to their homepage and they haven't posted a video in like 4 years. So when you go into the videos, that's going to kind of give you an indication of how regular this particular channel is posting. We do know Sean. We known him for a long time. We know right now his focus is on the live stream. So that's basically all you're going to find there right now. But that's what someone's looking for. How regular is it? Well, it was 3 days ago, and then it was a week, 2 week, 3 week, a month. And it's very regular. And that's something that I like to see when I'm searching, because I don't want to be waiting months on end for the next great video to come out after the one I just watched. Grant, are you still mic'd? Are you still muted?
No, I just thought, I guess I just thought Sean was going to say something on the phone, so I didn't want to interrupt. But
well, I mean, yeah, I haven't uploaded car content in a while, because I don't. My garage isn't anywhere. It's a good half hour, 40 minutes away from me, and with COVID and all of that stuff going on, it was been safer for me to stay away from where that garage is, because it's elderly people that live there. And didn't want to bring that to them if I were to end up having it. But hopefully we should be bringing up more car content again here shortly.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's that's the beauty of the YouTube thing though too, is like you can constantly morph into something else or get back there. So we're all excited for you, Sean, when when it comes about. I did want to go back to I don't know, Jason, if you can scroll down to, I think there's probably the first Nova picture you see of his Nova. It's titled, well, it's his episode 14 of his podcast. That's what it is. But one of the other things I think that Sean, you're doing a really good job with your car content down there from like a year ago, is those thumbnails are all pretty strong. They like the text really just jumps off of the. In fact, I want to go to the one, Jason, if you go back. Sorry, the one that says "What a mess" right there. I love that thumbnail.
Yep.
And so I think you're doing really good with the thumbnail game there. What I think is where you maybe missed the opportunity for something is nobody on YouTube. I think that video is about you finding like a window regulator for your Trans Am at a junkyard.
I think so.
And so other people who are thinking about how am I going to remove a window regulator if I'm in the junkyard, your video is going to help them with that. And more people are going to, well, yeah, I mean, okay.
That one was not a how-to, which is why that wasn't.
No, but nobody. But if you've never been in the door and you didn't know you had to drill out rivets like you show, like,
yeah.
And even if it's not a strict how-to, doesn't mean you have to like sell it as a how-to. I'm just saying nobody who's wondering, man, I'm in a mess, I need to get a window regulator. Nobody's going to be like, oh, I know what I need to type in YouTube. What a mess. That'll get me right to where I need to go. So I'm just saying, I think from a title standpoint, like you have a killer thumbnail on this. I really think this video could perform really well if you're just a little more descriptive about what to expect.
Yeah, I think this one was actually more about the fact of I went through all of that work. And then if you watch the end of the video, I lost it all. It wasn't moving the window regulator that was actually the thing. It was I wanted the window. And what ended up happening is I got all the way up to the end of the junkyard, went to go pay for the window, and broke it there at the checkout line. But yeah, it was more, those are more, I haven't done like my how-to videos are how-to videos. The rest of them are more just come with me and you know, whatever I'm doing is what I'm doing. They're more of vlog updates than they are how-to videos anymore. I do how-to ones here and there. But yeah, like the ones that are titled that aren't titled as a how-to, it's mainly because they're not a how-to. It's more of just a, you know, come along with the ride and whatever we're getting up to is what we're getting up to.
So I want to bring up a quick point too, is that one of the things, and again, this, the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because I just happened to notice it here, is if you're creating a YouTube channel, even if you're creating it from scratch, you've got to know the direction that you're going in, because if it's going to be about automotive, if it's going to be about books, or if it's going to be about computers, or it's going to be about learning how to pin the tail on donkey, whatever it happens to be, that has to be it. There has to be a consistency. In Sean's channel, there's a lot of consistency. Pretty well every video has something to do with cars. But I was scrolling through here today and I come across this one about converting a portable dishwasher into whatever. Anyways, it was a very informative video, and it's a very searchable video. The problem is that it doesn't follow the suit of what Sean's channel follows. So again, I've contemplated myself of almost even creating a second channel strictly for things that aren't automotive related and being able to post that stuff up there. You're going to draw people in if it's tagged, titled, if it's got a good description, all that stuff. If you follow the same rules you're following here now, good thumbnails, but it's going to take a lot longer to grow that channel. So I just keep it consistent, I guess, is what I would say there.
And for me, it's not worth creating a second channel at the moment, especially with all of the hoops and, you know, the hurdles that YouTube wants you to jump through to start a new channel now. And when you get big enough to where your main channel can basically carry the second channel, I could see that. But I mean, yes, mainly I do automotive stuff on this channel, but it is my channel and it is more of about me. It just happens to be that most of the time I do car stuff. Yep. But yeah, for me, it wasn't worth it for me to make a second channel just to do a couple of these how-to stuff that I've run into. And you know, there's going to be some more other stuff on my channel here shortly too. Woodworking, model building, all kinds of stuff. But it's why it's NovaTAZZ. It was originally NovaTAZZ Customs, and it's why it's now just NovaTAZZ. So it's more of a story of me, less of a story of just automotive.
And before we get back into the topic of discussion here tonight, we do have a couple of super chats in there. $5 from Haggard Hot Rods. There's also $4.99 from Narcoleptic Customs. I think I got that right. And also $13.99 from Big Easy. So I think I caught all the ones that came in there while we were talking away there.
Same ones I saw. So I appreciate you catching that, Jason. I tried in the chat typing thanks to everybody there too, but
Hey, they're killing it.
No, it's a good point, Jason. I mean, we're all guilty of it. I mean, I've got non-automotive content on my channel too. Mm-hmm. I guess the bigger point there is like, you know, sometimes it could just be organizing it in playlists a certain way, kind of like, you know, keep it on your channel, but maybe bury it somewhere. Or
well,
if it flops, you know, it's okay to take the stuff off. But
well, I would hide it. I wouldn't necessarily take it off.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, either or. Like that's where playlists come in handy to say that you know, you've got all these automotive live streams going, which is great. Maybe somewhere along on the way you've got a weekly regular upload on something that you're doing. But if it's non-automotive related, no worries. Just create a playlist for other stuff.
And if Jason goes over and clicks the playlist, he'll see that is actually in the playlist.
Well, there you go. Let's go over and take a look at the playlist. Maybe we can talk about playlists a little bit.
No, I think playlist is a good segue into. I feel like a bossy person right now, Jason. But go back to the homepage.
Okay, Dad.
Because once you've set up your playlist, like on your homepage, when you organize a homepage, you can start putting in the different ribbons right there at the top. So you just scroll down
scroll down a
little bit there. And if you pause right there, this is where I'm flattered, by the way, Sean, that both Jason and I are in your suggested channels and you put it at the top. But in the YouTube game, like if you're already distracting someone to get off of your page, I would put those at the bottom. Like, I appreciate it, but if someone gets distracted, you know, we all have ADD, right? And you're like, oh, yeah, what's this logo? Catches your eye. You've already like given someone a chance to get off of your page, and we want to keep them on your page. So, the playlists are a great way to organize these ribbons on the front page, and I really like what you've done with the popular uploads as the top one is pretty good, or maybe what's NovaTAZZ all about. You know, maybe find your core videos that are like, hey, when you're trying to sell a first impression and you want people to figure out who you are, like maybe pick your top like 5 or 6 that are like, nope, this is what I want my channel to be about.
I also wanted to kind of go back into, that was a great segue. It was community, and the fact that he actually has some posts on here. One of the things that I've been starting to use the community tab for a lot lately is once I upload a video, I'll go up maybe the next day or the day after that, 2 days, just to go and repost the thumbnail and the link to the video and say, hey guys, in case you missed it, here it is. And one of the benefits of that is it sends out that notification one more time. So those who may not have got it the first time will get it the second time. So the fact that he's actually posting here in his community tab is great. I encourage everybody who has a channel that if you're not taking advantage of that community tab for reposts or lead-ins or teasers or whatever, it's another form of social media. You should be taking advantage of it.
I also use it for a lead-in to get to my other social medias where you'll also get more updates on things like that as well.
Exactly.
For sure. Well, Sean, I did want to. Jason might have another question for you, but I think you made it through our grilling. I wanted to. You graduated. You made it through our. I also did want to throw out the disclaimer that Jason and I don't claim to be experts in this. It's just meant to be a third person.
Yeah, not at all.
View. Like, take it or leave it. Take it with a grain of salt. Just things we think we know, but we appreciate that you're willing to be the.
I mean, you guys both surpassed me way a while ago. You guys both surpassed me, but I'm on a different path than you guys. You guys are grinding at it, and you guys have earned where you're at. I'm kind of, I don't know, turtling it. Um, you know, I'm just doing me, meandering through, and you know, if I get big, I get big. If I don't, I don't. You know, whereas you guys are definitely on a, you guys are on a climb. You know, you guys know where you're going. You got a direction you're going, and you know, obviously, you guys earned the ability to, you know, grow my channel because you guys surpassed me. When I first met you guys had well under 500 subs each, I think. You know, and yeah, I helped you out a little in the beginning, but you guys pulled most of this off yourself.
Well, and one of the reasons why, and I think Grant can attest to this as well, one of the reasons why we wanted to have you be a part of this particular show was simply the fact that probably right from the very beginning, you're probably one of the ones that's been around the longest on both of our channels and have been supporting our efforts right from the get-go. By inviting us every single Sunday, even though we don't show up, still sending the invite to your live stream. I really appreciate that. For me, it's a little harder just because it's at 10 o'clock. I mean, we're off to bed here. We're an hour behind you, or sorry, ahead of you. But I do try and pop in there for a few minutes each Sunday and say hi. But the fact that you're a great supporter of both Grant and I means a lot to us, and that's why we wanted to have you on the show tonight. Hopefully, there's some new faces in the chat that will see your channel tonight and maybe head over there and support you as well.
Yeah, and I think I've been I've been a supporter of community, not competition, way before it was ever a thing. You know, I mean, obviously when you guys first started, everyone else was panicking because of the whole 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours.
Those were the days.
You know, yeah, I mean, it was exactly that. It wasn't, you know, I wasn't trying to beat somebody to that mark or whatever. You know, we were all trying to get there together. You know, and that's the way it should be. You know, I mean, I'm not in any competition with you guys, and that's the way, you know, it should be that way. You know, I'm doing my thing. You guys are doing things. If I can help you, you know, we help each other to climb up the ladder.
Well, and that is kind of the whole aspect of community, not competition. So yes, today in 2021, it has a name, and we're kind of, you know, taking on that hashtag CNC or hashtag community, not competition, with a huge thanks to the folks at Coastal Auto Reaction, Uncle Bobo. There's Robert's Garage. There's a bunch of those guys out there. Roy Marco that are out there. They're pushing it hard, and they're making it what it is, and that goes right back to the whole CarrGuy and SixFan show when Grant posted an idea to me to say, hey, what if, and here we are, you know, a year and a half later or whatever, or 2.5 years later, doing what we're doing, and I'm feeling that it's a huge success, probably the biggest success, in my opinion, on both of our channels. Maybe, I don't know. I can speak for myself, but yeah. So community, not competition, is something that kind of ties into exactly what we're doing tonight. We are not experts. We're just taking the advice that was given to us once upon a time, and stuff that we've learned out there in the past. If you're out there and you're looking to start a YouTube channel, there's all kinds of information on how to do that. If you want any advice or any help, reach out. We're here to help, and I have no problem, you know, spending some time either on a video chat or a phone call. Just reach out. I'm available. I'll make myself available.
Yep, pay it forward.
And to that point, and that's, you know, since you made it through the grilling portion, Sean, you know, we want this to be a three-way dialogue now about you know, we always like to on the CarrGuy and SixFan show talk tips and tricks, lessons learned, things like that. We did get this question in earlier in the chat, and it's, you know, it's a classic. We've all seen this one a billion times over, right? Y'all should mention subs versus views per month for us. And yeah, classic one. But I guess we'll let you start. Kick us off there, Sean.
It all depends also what part of YouTube you're from. I mean, geez, when I started, it was all about views. They don't care about how many subs you had. They didn't care about watch minutes. And honestly, it has today and age, it has nothing to do with subs or views. It's minutes watched. It's how much time a single viewer spends on your channel per day. You know, that's what they want to see. They don't really care about views or subs. They really care about minutes watched. And that's where you want to get it. The longer you can get somebody engaged in your channel, that doesn't necessarily mean engaged in one particular video. I mean, yeah, granted, you want as much watch time on a particular video as you can, but they want to see that they go from one video to the next, to the next, and say, how long can you keep somebody on your channel?
How many ads can they make you watch is what they're trying to do, right? That's
exactly.
YouTube's game. The fact that we're producing content and we're making videos and we're doing live streams and everything like that, I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything to YouTube. It does. It gives them a spot to put these ads, but to them, it's all about the business side of things. They want to be able to place those ads so they can sell them, so that they can get money and give us pennies on the dollar, so to speak.
So yeah, so it's about how long can they keep them on your channel, and the longer you can keep somebody on your channel, also the higher your ad rates once you become monetized will be. They call it CPM. The higher the more you can keep somebody on your channel, and the more watch time you can accrue, the higher your CPM will be, and the more return you'll get at the end of the day. I'm not super worried about my CPM because, again, different path, different way I'm doing things. But that is the trick. They don't really care about views or subs. That's something that a creator is worried about, and honestly, you probably shouldn't be. If you have enough watch time, the rest will follow.
And I think if there's one takeaway we want everybody in this live stream to take away, it's what you just said there, Sean, is like the number one key to a successful YouTube channel is being genuine to yourself. Like, don't fake it. Don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself. That's the only way people are going to find a character and relate to. But we had another question come in from Street Car Culture. I'm going to pop it up, but I did want to say one more thing on the whole subs versus views thing. That I say this all the time. It's so funny that I agree with everything you said, Sean. It's more about keeping someone on your channel and then rolling into that next video. Agree with everything. But why is the only thing YouTube creates like a silver play button for is for subs? It's like it's like this really weird like mind game thing. It's like it's not worth anything, but they will they will cast things out of pure silver and send it to you in the mail.
That's silver plated, but yeah.
Well,
yeah, I might be the first to admit. I'm sorry we're getting off topic here with the question at hand, but I think part of the whole subs count thing is simply the lure, the push, the drive to keep those YouTubers going.
Agreed.
I know it's just a plaque. I know it's silver. I know it's not even made of real silver. It's probably plastic. But the idea that somebody gets that 100,000 subscriber goal or whatever the next one is, like that's what keeps them going, I believe. I'm a victim of that. Starting off with saying I just wanted to create videos and have some fun. Well, here I am now striving for that next big milestone. I think it plays a portion in all of us.
It makes you feel good when you reach goals like that. Like, I mean, it's not even just those. Like, I have a view count goal. I am just around the corner from being 1 million views. Like, literally right around the corner. I haven't even checked. I might have hit it today. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm pretty close to there. I'm approaching 2.5K subs. That's another goal. That's another big milestone for especially something that I've been here as long as I have. It's not something that it's like I'm just plowing down goals left and right. I'm steadily making it there. But and that's what it is. Also, I want to give a shout out. Stuff with Cletus has taken my place as the late arrival. If anybody. I wasn't there to be the late arrival, so he's taking my place.
You had to be on time today.
I think we should get into the question real quick. It's been up there for a bit. How do you feel about mid-roll ads? So I'm going to simply say this, is that there's a lot of channels that I tune into that it's every 2 and 3 minutes. There's mid-roll ads. You do not need that many ads. I don't care if it's an hour long. How many commercials do you watch on TV in an hour-long session that you get pissed off at because you're watching too many ads? Well, I don't want the same thing to happen to my channel. So I think the idea is that there's room for them, not every 2 or 3 minutes. Grant, what do you think?
Well, I agree. Same thing. We had one commenter on the CarrGuy SixFan show, and we started putting mid-roll ads on it, and we just click the lazy button, right? Auto-generate them.
That's what I do.
One guy wrote a comment. He's like, "Look, if you keep up with the mid-roll ads, I'm never watching this again." And it's not that we're really worried about losing one person, but I tried watching it back. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is horrible. I can't." It interrupts. Like you get into a good conversation and just cuts it off. So Jason and I, we try to post edit it to every 10 minutes on the CarrGuy and SixFan show.
I will do the auto ad and I'll let it pick where it wants, and then I'll go back through and watch it, and I might move it slightly because you really kind of want it. You really only need one if it's a 10 or 15-minute video, but it does majorly boost your CPM by having it there. But you kind of want it right before the climax of your video. So like maybe not right in the middle, but like right before the big, reveal, or the second half of your video. You kind of want it somewhere in there if you're telling a story. Obviously if you're not telling a story, well then where to put it kind of ends up being a, roll the dice and pick a spot.
One of the big guys out there is oh my goodness, I just lost his name. Nick Nimmons. One of the things that the guys like him and some of these bigger creators will tell you, who are the kind of the self-help or the helpers to boost your channels, is if you're going to be placing mid-roll ads, find a convenient spot for you, not for YouTube, to place them, so that if you're on a topic of discussion and you've got a 3 or 4 second pause in your video, then that might be a good spot to put it rather than halfway through somebody's sentence. So it's always good that if you're going to auto generate them to begin with, which is what I do, you can, after the video goes live, you can go in and like you said, move them around, slide them around to where it fits best for what you're doing.
You don't want to ever interrupt your topic. You want to leave it in a space between topics. So like if you're talking about something, wait for that mid-roll ad till after you're done that topic and you're about ready to start the next one, or right after a B-roll. That's actually one of the better spots to do it, is right after, like you have your B-roll and then put it right after the B-roll before you go back into talking again.
For sure. Jason, have you seen any other questions come in from the chat? I've been trying to peruse them a little bit, but
I don't think I saw anything necessarily related as far as questions goes, but I do see Left 4 Dead had asked Cletus how he's doing. I'm sure he's doing fine. In fact, he answers good. So, yeah, I think.
Oh man!
Thank goodness for that.
Oh
Thanks, Cletus, for answering, because I was getting worried there for a minute.
Hobbins has a good question.
Who?
Hobbins Hot Rods.
Oh, I missed it. Go ahead.
He just
read it.
posted it. He said, do you have any control over what ads are shown? And to a point, you do. But for the most part, you don't. And if you do have control over it, you really don't want to mess with it too much. Because the thing is it's just like anything else. The more you put limits on that, the less CPM you're going to get. And if your goal is actually to at least return at least some of your investment into YouTube, because when you get bigger, like I said, I've been at this for a while, so I have some money invested in this game. I pay for, licensed music, I pay for editing software, and obviously this computer here isn't free either. I ended up having to buy this computer and put it together just to be able to continue doing what I'm doing. And so, yes, you want some return because you've got money into it. Yeah, so you don't really want to cause your ads to be less, because the way that they put ads in your video is auction. And if you have less people at the auction plate bidding for your spot in your video, well, you're going to have less, you're going to have less return. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your morals in place.
Yeah, and to touch on what you said, you do have a little bit of control. Is a great segue into the question that's up on the screen that says, "How do you guys feel about gear reviews?" So there's two sides to that. So one is if it's a sponsored gear review, then you have to tell YouTube that you're delivering paid sponsorship, so that they're not putting ads related to somebody else's product that might be in competition with the product that you're sponsoring or reviewing. So there's that. But as far as gear reviews,
I want to interrupt you for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
One part. The other reason why they have you let them know that it's a sponsored video is because you're supposed to be clear and present to your audience that this isn't it wasn't a completely unbiased opinion. You were given this product, you were told to review it, whatever it is. That way, because they had problems in the past where people were displaying stuff on their YouTube channel, not claiming it as anything, and people were taking it as point blank, completely unbiased, whatever. And it was causing people to, I guess, get swindled a little bit. So there's two sides to that story as well.
Yeah, it's the same reason why when you're watching low budget movies, why they have the nameplates blacked out on cars' grills, because even though it might be a Chevy Impala, just because they got that bow tie blacked out, Chevy didn't pay for that car. That was just something that they could afford to put on from the back lot somewhere, So same idea. And I guess we should kind of call this getting it close to calling it quits. We'll do this one more question. Do you feel doing many collaboration videos helps? I believe it does to a degree. It's not the way everybody believes that it's going to. If you go collab as a 2,000 sub channel with a 1 million sub channel, that all of a sudden you've made it. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that specifically, because you might get an influx of views or subscribers, but if they don't like what you have to say or what you're doing, they're not going to stick around. So
you don't have the content to back it up. Yeah.
Collaborations are fun to do, just like what Grant and I are doing here, and inviting you, Sean, onto the channel. The whole idea with collaborations is learning from each other, and finding new audiences. So
just having fun. But yeah, it is that you could only fish in your pond for so long before you've outfished your pond. So eventually you're going to have to either have somebody else cast a rod for you in a different pond, or jump into a new group of people to be exposed to.
Yeah, I think collabs are great, just for the same reasons. Like, Sean, you and I, for a long time, we've had very similar sub counts, and it's like, but there's no way we have identical. Like, if we were hovering around 2,000 there for a while, there's no way it's possible that we have the exact same 2,000 people, but we make similar content. So there's always the opportunity to pick up some fringe amount of other views. But
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's the only problem, and this is me going back way, is the sub for sub, or the I don't want to put sub for sub in the same category as community, not competition, because they're not the same thing. But you can only share something to the same audience so many times. And I don't want to pick on Robert's Garage because he's doing freaking amazing. But it is kind of something, I do notice that he has shared on Instagram us constantly, which I am. Thank you very much. Yes. But if you're not sharing it to a new audience, it's kind of like when you see the same ad show up on your YouTube videos constantly.
Like Tobadella?
After what? So it's again that same thing of, yes, community, not competition, but you got to start sharing it to people that aren't being shared to the same group of people that you're already, you know what I mean? Because I can share you my channel all you want. You're already my sub. It doesn't do me any good. Right. It's a matter of sharing it to somebody that isn't my sub and is not familiar with my channel, or not familiar with the channel that I'm sharing.
And to piggyback on what you said there, Sean, the other part is like, if somebody came to, again, we don't want to stop him, Robert's Garage. Please don't slow down on us.
He's doing awesome.
But to your point, like, the other thing is, like, if somebody came to Robert's Garage and came to follow them for certain content, again, it goes back to the, like, hey, I came here expecting muscle car content, but there's a bunch of live streams like on your channel. At some point, when it's like, well, this guy's Instagram account's just about boosting other YouTubers. Yeah, and that was like, I came to look at Chevy trucks or whatever. You might lose followers doing that.
Agreed. And that was kind of, I wasn't picking on him or any way, but it was kind of, I see other channels do that as well. It ends up washing out your own content. It's great to share other people's content. It is. And in fact, it's a necessity to help yourself grow and others grow as well. But you got to balance that like everything else. Everything is, it's everything within reason. And you have to balance it out with your, obviously your own content, or people are going to lose sight about what you're about.
So guys, we could talk about this probably for another hour easily, and still create a lot of buzz and a lot of conversation about it. But we are way past our 35 to 40 minute ish type show. We're 44 minutes in, I think it's time we start wrapping this thing up. Very quickly, Grant, why don't you just give us an update on what might be coming up on Straight Six Fan?
400th upload is after this live stream's done. The next upload is number 400. So we have kind of a special compilation that will involve some collaborations. Sean, what's next on NovaTAZZ?
Let's see if I can pull it out here. Okay, well, you see the car behind me, and we're gonna add.
For a second, I thought I was gonna have to block out your screen when you said
that. We're gonna add this to that car behind me. So we're gonna go with the Holley EFI Sniper EFI system on my '79 Trans Am. That would be what's next.
Well, and on a similar topic, I was on the verge of going to be putting the Phytech EFI on old Dale the truck. So I got the fuel pump in. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see I got the fuel pump in the new tank, pretty much ready to go. And speaking of this red hat, there it is. I told you guys I was going to draw for a hat, so I'll be doing that in next week's live stream. It's just going to be a quick little thing at the end, so stay tuned for that. Guys, this is where we're going to call it the end. So, Sean, thanks for taking some time to be with us tonight and allowing us to beat up on your channel a little bit, and all in the name of science for all those YouTube creators out there who are wanting to join us. So, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Yeah, and I'd like to, if you guys want to continue this topic, we can always continue it on my live stream on Sunday.
There you go.
Yeah, everybody head over to Sean's channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, NovaTAZZ. If you haven't already taken a look at his channel, go do that. And yeah, remind him, bring the topic to his chat.
Yep,
just
exactly.
Like
You guys in the chat determine the topic that we talk about. I mean, I don't come in there with a script. I come in there with whatever you guys want to chit chat about.
So, as Jason, I'll let you do the sign off here, but I did just want to run back through the super chats and say thanks personally to everybody: Haggard, Hot Rods, Narxoplectic, Narxoleptic, Narxo, I can't say it ever right, Coastal Auto Reaction, CP, the Tool Addict, Stuff with Cletus, and Uncle Bobo. Thanks again, everybody. You got entered into the Kilmat giveaway. Jason, take us on home.
Yeah, that's going to do it, guys. I really appreciate everyone for being in the chat. There's a lot of people in there. I don't know if I caught the actual number of who's in there tonight, but I think we were pushing over 40. Thank you for being a part of the live stream tonight. It's a real pleasure to have everybody take their time and kind of do this interaction. You know, this is what it's all about, is community, not competition. And again, we keep coining that phrase. It's getting run down maybe, but nevertheless, it seems to be working. So thanks to Coastal Auto Reaction, Uncle Bobo, and those guys who are all pushing the hashtag community, not competition. Guys, stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror.